get a deep three-pointer.
9.3 on the game clock. Dwyane Wade
gets it to Westbrook. Baseline right. Russell to the rim. Lays it up and in. He's fouled.
The Spurs tried to foul Westbrook as he turned the corner on the right baseline. Jason Phillips didn't call it then. Then they called it when he made the basket. And now it's 94-91.
How much credit should Donovan get this series for the job the Thunder have done?
How do you know the series was over?
So the Thunder have the Spurs on the brink of elimination after taking a 3-2 series lead. Game 6 is Thursday in Oklahoma City, but Skip, San Antonio is favored by 2.5. Are your Spurs done?
No, they are not done. I said Stephen A. Smith, Spurs in 7, and I'm sticking with it. Let me count the ways I think they are not done. Let's reiterate. Game 1, Spurs blew out Thunder. Game 2, my Spurs had the ball and a chance to score and win the game with 10 seconds left at home, and they failed to do so. They went up to Oklahoma City for Game 3, and they flat out won it. Game 4, they were up 6 early in the fourth quarter of Game 4 and couldn't close that deal. Then last night, as you well know, up 13 midway through the third quarter, up 6 with 4 minutes left at home, where they went 40-1 in the regular season, couldn't close that deal. My point to you is, in all 5 games, they were in position to win the game fairly late in the game, and they lost 3 of them. Do I love it? Nope, I don't. Is it a bad sign? You can call it a bad sign. I'm seeing the glass as half full. I think they do too. They know they can beat this team. Danny Green, who made 6 out of 9 threes last night, God bless him, said something very interesting to me after that game. He said, I think we'll play angry in Game 6 back in Oklahoma City. That's something I rarely see my Spurs play, is with anger. The even-keel Spurs are, for my taste, sometimes too even-keel. Last night, you watched the game. Did they not come out lifeless and flat in the first quarter of that game? I don't know how they hung in the first quarter, but they did. They were dead-headed. LaMarcus Aldridge was out of it. I think Kawhi Leonard is going to have to play much bigger and more angry than he played last night. The whole group of them, I think, should play angry at Oklahoma City and fight Russell Westbrook's fire with their own fire. They are fully capable of doing that. I look for Coach Popovich to throw some classic curveballs at Oklahoma City with some fairly dramatic changes. I think Boban Marjanovic ought to play a few minutes just to shake it up and give them a little better chance on the backboards where, as you know, they got crushed last night. 15 offensive rebounds. Can't happen. You do it again, you're going to lose, and you'll lose badly at Oklahoma City. It's time for my Spurs to take it personally and to fight fire with fire. And I think they will tomorrow night, and I'm sticking with them to win tomorrow night and in Game 7 back in San Antonio.
Well, I'm not. I picked them to win in 7. I'll be the first to admit, Skip, I have no conviction. I have nothing in this fight. I'm a Knicks fan. They're pathetic. I'm not even allowed to talk about the Knicks during this time of year because they're so irrelevant. So I have nothing to gain nor lose in all of this. But I will tell you that, Skip, I'm very worried about the San Antonio Spurs. I think they could end up losing this game. I don't know. I have no clue. But here's why I have no clue. Because, Skip, you are right in terms of the upside. Obviously, you're emotionally invested, but you are right about the upside because here's the deal. San Antonio should have won 2 of these games. They should have won them, especially last night. They flat out blew it. Now, the officials helped, but I'm thinking about play calling on the part of Greg Popovich. I'm thinking about how many wide open shots I saw missed. Skip, it does not matter what Greg Popovich does or what you say. If LaMarcus Aldridge can't hit shots, you're toast. That's what it comes down to. And that's what this is really all about. I expect, and I saw this look in OKC's face when they won the game last night and Kevin Durant just looked at everybody and waved them off and was telling Russell Westbrook, come on, let's go, get off the floor. We got another game to win. They're incredibly focused. Kevin Durant has them focused. Russell Westbrook appeared even more focused, even though he could turn around, with the bipolar game that he has in terms of being explosive 1 minute and detrimental to himself the next. And he could be that kind of guy. There's no doubt. But the flip side is, that Oklahoma is going to come out feisty, ready to roll, doing whatever it is that they do. The flip side to it is that the Spurs can offset all of that if they hit shots.
Yep.
And we don't know if that's going to happen. You know why? Because when it comes down to it, Skip, it's going to come down to LaMarcus Aldridge. And LaMarcus Aldridge has to show up. He's got to show up. Now, I ask you a very simple question, Skip. Do you know that he's going to show up? I know how you feel about the age-old veterans, but they're age-old veterans for a reason. So this comes down to Kawhi and LaMarcus. I even have faith in Kawhi. What about L.A.? What about LaMarcus Aldridge? Are you sure? That's why I don't know. LaMarcus Aldridge hit shots. LaMarcus Aldridge hit shots. They win. He misses shots. They lose. He 2 for 11 in the last 3 fourth quarters.
I know
2 for 11.
All too well. Painfully
Skip,
well.
That can't happen. So whatever you say, it goes right out the window if he's missing shots. What if you see your regular old Spurs plays drawn up and somehow, some way on the right wing, on the left wing, LaMarcus Aldridge is right there, either one-on-one where he's unguardable or wide open, and he's just missing shots. What you going to do?
I'll tell you exactly what you're going to do.
It comes down to that. It comes down to that. Go ahead.
Remember the finals you mentioned in our previous topic in which my Spurs blew LeBron's team off the floor by a record margin, 70 points, by hitting 46% of their threes? Remember Patty Mills and Danny Green and Boris Diaw and Manu Ginobili? They can all still score. I watch them every night. They can get crazy hot. Kawhi can get crazy hot. I think as a collective team, if they just let it fly, instead of playing tentatively as they have, I think, in all 5 games so far, they have tried to out-finesse the Thunder, who have basically just beaten them up physically. Inside, in the end, are you going to let Enes Kanter and Adams just mug you inside? Because that's what happened last night to me. They just threw them out of the way and said, here. David West is going to have to play a little bigger and smarter inside.
He needs to play bigger. Yep. He needs a little bit more minutes. Your boy Boban needs to get a bit more minutes, even if it's at the expense of Tim Duncan.
I agree.
And by the way, Skip, again, the Patty Mills, even though Danny Green has hit some threes, everybody hasn't been open. I mean, Oklahoma City goes out and defends.
They do. They do a good job.
It's almost like they're like willing to give up the 2. Yep. They're willing to take their chances on the 2. By guarding the 3, which is why L.A. LaMarcus Aldridge is that much more important.
Yep.
He's got to hit shots. He's the premier free agent for a reason in the market last summer. They got him for a reason. It's for moments like this, moments like last night, moments like that are coming up in Game 6. If LaMarcus Aldridge does not step up for you, I cannot see them winning this game.
He's got to become a Spur. He's still got too much Trailblazer in him. Too much former Portland playoff Trailblazer.
Well, let me say this to you. You say too much Trailblazer in him. I'm not sure about that because for all of Damian Lillard's struggles, he shows up in fourth quarters.
Well, sometimes. He did. Remember Game 2 back in Oakland, he went 0 for 3 in the fourth quarter.
I'm talking pivotal moments.
No.
I'm talking pivotal moments. Your season's on the line, et cetera, et cetera. Damian Lillard usually shows up.
Yeah.
I can't sit there and say it's a Trailblazer thing. It's a LaMarcus Aldridge thing.
Okay, but how many times when LaMarcus was the best Trailblazer did they just come and go quietly in the playoffs? That's my point.
Because they were throwing the ball to him.
Okay, but I'm just saying this is a new stage and a new world, and all of a sudden, remember, he starts off 33 out of 44 in the first 2 games. That's unconscious hot. Remember, he would just turn around and be automatic from 15 feet, 18 feet. Well, all of a sudden, the stakes started to rise, the spotlight got a little brighter, the stage got bigger, and all of a sudden it's pivotal Game 5 at home. Where are you, L.A.? You're in La La Land. That's where you are.
Well, let's be clear about what we're saying about LaMarcus Aldridge so people don't get ultra-sensitive and feel like he's disrespected. This guy is a big-time talent. LaMarcus Aldridge can play the game of basketball, but it is time that you show that in moments like this. You ain't in Portland anymore. You're with a franchise with a championship pedigree in the San Antonio Spurs. This is who you are. This is the moment that you've been waiting for. LaMarcus Aldridge has to show up and live up to what his talent demands because he has the talent.
Okay, so I'm hearing bottom line, you have Oklahoma City winning big tomorrow night, right?
No, not at all. I think it'll be a tight game either way. But I think San Antonio wins a Game 7. I just don't think it gets there. I'm thinking Oklahoma City. I just sense, Skip, that they may close the door on my pick of San Antonio in 7 may be wrong because I don't know if it's going to get there right now.
You'd
if I had to bet my money, I would go with OKC the way they're looking right now.
All right, Skip's hanging on. That tomorrow night, pivotal moment, L.A. can show up for sure. Game 6 of the Western Conference semifinals at the Thunderdome between OKC and San Antonio. Our coverage begins with NBA Countdown charged by Dew. That tips at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. Meanwhile, the San Francisco Chronicle kept it simple with the headline, unanimous. But Tracy McGrady thinks he knows why Steph Curry became the first unanimous winner. We'll react to that next.